And and we are live. What's good, Josh? Your man DL Saint. Welcome. DL Saint. I really want to know. Correction. Welcome to the Down Range podcast. We're down range now, y'all. We're not DL Saint. I really want to know. This is Down Range today. We're talking about some politics. Welcome to the Down Range podcast. We're down range podcast. We're gonna talk about some politics, y'all. Y'all know I still recovering from the trip. So yeah. Let me get myself together. I'm a little discombobulated, but there it is. There's a little bug up there. Bam, right there. Whenever you see that little thing right there, we're talking politics. That means we're going down range. We're about to get at it. And we're gonna talk about some stuff, y'all. I got some stuff set up. This should be pretty quick. I hope y'all had a good day. Today is Tuesday, short week. For some people didn't have to work yesterday. Some people did. So I hope y'all Tuesday went well. Yeah, it's pretty easy for me. Just plugged in. I just sit around and everything revolves around my little girl. Tomorrow's her birthday. And looking forward to that. Although she's been bad. She got herself in trouble over the holiday break. Over Christmas, she did some bad things. So we're not going to go crazy this year for her birthday, but we're going to do a little something. You know what I mean? Do a little something, but, she knows she's in trouble. It is what it is. As a parent, that's one of the hardest things that you have to do as a parent. You have to maintain that discipline. You have to punish your kids. You got to make sure it's fair and equitable, and you got to make sure that it sticks. Like, you can't be mad on Monday for something they did, and by Wednesday, everything's forgiven, and there's no consequence for their action. You can't do that. Too many parents do that, and that's why we're in the situation we're in today socially. We talk about this all the time on this platform. Y'all know what it is. So you got to stick to it. Brother Michael's in the house. What's good, bro? Welcome. Always good to see you, man. Too bad you went down to Miami. You missed a great one. That party was off the chain, bro. I mean, honestly, I've been to a lot of festive occasions, bro. I got to tell you, that's definitely in the top 10 of all of the events I've been to in my life. And I've been to some nice events, y'all. Been to some nice parties. That's in the top 10. And it's not just because, it was fresh and fit, but it was just the crowd was right. The balance was perfect. They really went out, they went above and beyond trying to help, trying to put together a good event. And they had some hiccups putting that thing together. It was definitely a headache. Fresh was just on Instagram Live just moments ago. He was talking about it, but you could tell they're still proud of what they did. They had a good time. Their supporters came down, had a blast. Everyone got to meet and greet and all that good stuff. They were even free events. So it wasn't just the party. Like, you didn't have to come down and pay for the party. There were other events that you can go just kind of meet and greet and kind of doing things. So it was kind of cool, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm proud of him. And Brother Mike is like, I'll see you at the 2 million party. All right, the 2 million, I'll be there. You know what I'm saying? They're ready for 2023. They're hitting it hard. I'm not even sure how many subscribers they have right now. Brother Michael, how many subscribers do they have right now, as a matter of fact? I'm just curious. I'm wondering how long it'll take them to get to 2 million. It took them 2 years to get to 1 million, and that included the hiccups when they lost a bunch of subscribers when they had the drama, but they still did it within 2 years. So I'm wondering how long it'll take them to get to 2 million. Will it take a year? Will it take 2? Will it take 3? Who knows? But they're going to continue to knock out and put out the content and do what they do. They're continuing to make things better on that platform, just like we all do in this YouTube world. I know I'm working on getting a new camera. We're going to have some different camera angles. I'm working on getting some I want to do some in-studio stuff, so be looking for that, man. Come quarter 3-ish, quarter 2, quarter 3. Hopefully we'll have some in-studio stuff for you guys. I'm going to try to do some more edited stuff. Going to continue with the shorts. We just started the DL Saint shorts. We're going to start doing that. I'm about to go crazy on this, y'all. We reached our goals. We got monetized. So we're just going to continue to grow. And the next phase is to continue to self-improve and make the platform better. And like, just kind of go out and bring you guys the best content that I can possibly get for you guys. I might even have a couple guests, some special guests come in studio here, like in home with me. I got another chair sitting here. I got another mic. Maybe I'll have some people come in that I really know. But outside of that, I want to, try to get some in studio stuff. I'm working on that. We're going to have some good stuff. Yo. And Brother Mike came right through with the numbers. 1.13 million subscribers. That's what's up. So, yeah, they're going to get there pretty quick. Yeah, they're growing. They're going to get there. Wow. 1,100,000, 130,000. That's, wow. That's going to be pretty, watch them grow. They should get to 2 million here pretty quick. They'll do another party. And hopefully they learn from the last one, so they won't have as many hiccups when it's time to do the next one. But yeah, it was no security issues, had a great security team. Man, it was on the water. The boat actually took us out on the water at nighttime. It was the only thing that no one anticipated was the weather. No one knew how cold it was going to be. And boy, was it cold. But it was fun. So earlier today we were talking about Tom Brady, like what's he going to do now? Their football season is over. They made it to the playoffs. They lost in the first round. So what's Tom Brady going to do? We talked about that earlier today. Sister Candace was on there, and she wanted to know when we're going to talk about Biden and these documents, right? The Biden papers. We're going to talk about it right now. This is what we're going to talk about. You know what I mean? And it's in the thumbnail. Biden was wrong, too. That's how I see it. He was, at the time when he had the documents in question, was vice president. Number two, in America, he had these documents. He knew the protocol, and he was wrong. You know what I mean? These documents should have been secured. They were not. He was wrong for that, period. And I'm quite sure he's probably doing the same thing now as president. I'm sure now the White House is really looking into that, and they're probably gathering up all these documents and following protocol to the letter. If they're not, they should be. These documents are not to be played with. These are like America's closest held secrets. These documents could cause a whole lot of death and destruction all over the world if they fall into the wrong hands. We must protect these documents. So president, elected official, whatever, whoever you are, just government official, just employee, whoever you are, if you're out there dealing with these documents, there's a certain way to deal with it. I had to deal with it working as an air traffic controller for the Federal Aviation Administration. We got training on it annually. Every year we had to sit down and do this computer-based training on dealing with secure documents, classified information, dealing with secured equipment. We had to take this test every single year. Sometimes it took like half a day to get this thing done. So you can't say you didn't know. And I'm pretty sure that the rest of the government employees had to take the same course, and they have to stay current just like we did. So there's no excuse for this. There's absolutely no excuse for having these sensitive classified documents outside of the controlled environment. No excuse whatsoever. I don't care who you are. President, vice president, speaker of the House, you know what I mean? The leader of the Senate, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So that's my take on it. Biden is absolutely wrong. He was wrong back then when he did it as vice president. But let's get into it. There's an article here that we can read. And this article is from Insider, and this was January 17th of this year. There's a simple reason Biden didn't keep visitor logs at the Delaware home where he held classified documents. It's not an official residence. I don't care. Right? It's not an official residence, then why were those documents there? We don't, it's okay. He didn't keep a log there because it's not an official residence. You got those documents, there should be a requirement that anyone who comes into close proximity of said documents should have to sign in and out. That should change the security protocols right off rip. And, the fact that they're alluding in this article that it does not, and that he isn't wrong for not having having a log, no, man. That's just whatever. That's just BS. And this isn't me coming from a Republican or a Democrat point of view. I'm just coming at it as a civilian, as a citizen, as a former soldier. Like, I understand what this is. I understand what's on the line here. People have given their lives up. You know what I mean? People have died. People have seen horrible things and been mangled over the information contained in those documents. We must keep those documents safe. No one is above that protocol. No one. The White House said there are no visitor logs for Joe Biden's Delaware home. Biden is facing criticism after classified documents from his time as VP were found there, as they should be. It is not standard for visitor logs to be kept at a president's private residence, the White House said, right? And this is all just wagging the dog type stuff. This is all smoke and mirrors or whatever. This is the tit for tat that goes on with this kind of thing, and it's wrong. It's absolutely wrong. Absolutely wrong. We got Brother Smeebles in the house today. Well, it's good, bro. Bro, that party, man, I'm telling you, that party was just fire. It was fire. If they do a 2 million, man, make sure you there, bro. That was stupid. That was stupid. They're calling it the best YouTube party in Miami ever. Bro, it might be. It was away from the clubs and everything. It was but good to see you, bro. I'm glad you're here. We're sitting here talking about the terrible job we're doing as Americans securing our most secretive documents. You're right. This is stuff that doesn't make sense, and how we have leadership in this country that doesn't seem to care, especially someone like Joe Biden has been part of the political apparatus his entire adult life. I mean, this guy's been around this sort of stuff forever. And for him to sit back and say, I didn't know, nah, I'm not accepting that. I am not accepting that at all. That's absolutely BS. You know what I mean? Cody is Kings in the house. What's good, brother Cody? How you doing, bro? Good to see you. You know what I mean? He's like, what up? I agree. All part of Wag the Dog. And that's exactly what this is. Wag the Dog, smoke and mirrors all day long with this, bro. We're going to continue with this article in a second. Brother Smeebles, yeah, I was pissed I couldn't go. Business issues. I'm closing the doors of my business because who I partnered with was a major dud. Yeah, I remember you talking about that, bro. I'm sorry you have to go through that, man. It sucks, man. I really am sorry you have to go through that, bro. So it's always business first. You know what I mean? We just got to get more people to that platform, get them up to 2 million as soon as possible, and then you can make it to the next one. The next one you do not want to miss. I'm pretty sure it's going to be better than one they just had. There was a lot of scrambling going on at the last moment, reference venues and this and that, because they were dealing with duds. And Myron and Fresh had to come through like they always do when they have these parties. They have to come through in the end and pull it out of fire and try to make things right. And I haven't talked numbers with them, but I'm pretty sure they spent a lot. I'm sure they put a lot of money on this. It was 100% open bar. There was food there. There was enough food to feed a small city on that boat. The VIP area and everything, it was pretty much wide open. They didn't get overly, restrictive once everyone was there. It was just a big party, bro. It was nice, man. I got it. I got to give it to them. They did a good job. Brother Doug's in the house. What's good, fam? Good to see you. Always good to see you. Salute to you as well. So let's continue with this article, man. Insider, right? We're talking about Biden and his mishandling of classified documents when he was vice president. And I ain't gonna lie to you. I'll take it a step further. I bet you he's still mishandling classified information now as president. I bet you he is. I'm pretty sure that the White House is going to be very stringent on these protocols, and they're going to be making sure the president isn't messing up. But he's an old dude moving around the White House like Mr. Magoo, so it's going to have to be constantly someone watching him and making sure what he's doing with those documents are kosher. So, and like I said, the White House said that there are no visitor logs at Joe Biden's Delaware home after Republicans demanded to see them. And that goes back to that bullet point at the top when it's like you're not required to maintain a visitor log at your private residence. I get that, but you're also not allowed to have these documents in your private residence. So like I was saying earlier, if you have these type documents in your home, then yes, there should be a log of everyone who comes in there, and that should be permanent record. Secret Service is there anyway, so they should be maintaining this log and making sure that whoever comes in there is cleared. But, let me get back to the article. It came up after Republicans pressed for more information after learning that classified files dating from Biden's time as vice president were being wrongly kept there. They're talking about his private residence. However, per the White House, no president in recent history has logged who comes and goes from their private home. These records are only kept for unofficial locations like the White House, for official locations like the White House. All right. You know what I mean? Okay, if that's what we doing. So, and then this part right here, no president in recent history. What are they considering recent history? Are they talking about Trump? Are they talking about Obama, Clinton, Bush, the Bushes? You know what I mean? Does it go with Carter, Reagan? I mean, what are we talking about recent history? What's recent? So, I mean, just reading it, it implies that it used to be that they had to log who came and went from their private residences, and that stopped somewhere along the line. It says in recent history. I wonder what recent history is. But it continues. Biden's classified documents should have been handed over to the National Archives after he stopped serving as vice president in 2016, long before his election as president in 2020. A batch of documents were initially found by his lawyer in his think tank office in Washington, D.C. in November, and a further batch were then found in his residence. So they had these documents all over the place. Like, okay, where was his think tank? What building, was this located in? Is there a log for the think tank? It's not his private residence, so was there a log for people coming in and out of there? Probably not. No one probably knew about these documents until his lawyer found them. That's what they want us to believe. I'm not buying any of this, y'all. I'm not buying any of it right now. This sounds real fishy to me. The White House only admitted that they had been found in reports have been found when reports emerged last week that the Justice Department was investigating the issue. So the White House was hushed up about it until the Justice Department came out. It was like, oh, we got to look into this. And now all of a sudden the White House has information and they know stuff. Isn't it funny how that works? Justice Department gets involved, the police gets involved, lawyers get involved, and all of a sudden people's memory starts working. So Biden is facing accusations that he may have endangered U.S. national security by mishandling the records. That's a fact. House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer said the panel is investigating the issue and had requested the logs from the White House. Given the serious national security implications, the White House must provide the Wilmington, I can't say the word. I don't know why I can't speak today. It's crazy. But the residence visitor log, he said in a letter Sunday, however, there is no such log. And that goes back to the beginning of the article. When they states in recent history, in recent times, presidents have not logged their private residence. All right. So we don't know what recent times is. We don't know. The White House counsel office said that it is not standard for presidents to keep visitor logs at their private residences. Right. Like every president across decades of modern history, his personal residence is personal. White House counsel's office spokesman Ian Sams said in a statement. So this is all just them trying to clean it up, making a story about visitors logs when the story should be about why did he have the documents in the first place. Visitors logs are kept at the White House. After his election, Biden reinstated the practice of making them publicly available, which Donald Trump had ended when he became president. This has nothing to do with Donald Trump. So why we got to have a paragraph in here saying that Biden he reinstated the practice of making these logs publicly available, which Trump had ended when he became president. Why we even got to talk about that? So what? The Secret Service also says it doesn't keep visitor logs at Biden's personal residence and that it does not keep permanent records of visitors to his properties. It screens. So they do have records. The Secret Service has some sort of records, but those records aren't permanent. So I guess they destroy the records after a certain amount of time. So how much time is that? You know what I mean? And which residences were the Secret Service tracking, which should have been all of them. So in essence, there was a record. There was some sort of log, or at least a record of people coming in and out. And they're trying to say that those records aren't permanent. So they burn them? What do they do? Again, more smoke and mirrors, more wagging the dog, man. The Justice Department has appointed a special counsel to probe Biden's handling of classified files. Trump also faces a special counsel investigation into his handling of classified information after troves of government records and secret documents were found by the FBI in his residence in Mar-a-Lago, Florida last year. They say troves here, like troves, but didn't they find a couple boxes? Did the current president, while, was mishandling? Where was that? It said there was a couple boxes. Isn't that a trove? I mean, depending on the size of the box, you can get a lot of documents in there. I'm just trying to find that part here. Yeah, here it is right here. A batch of documents were initially found in his lawyer's think tank's office in Washington, D.C., and a further batch were then found in his. So that's two batches. I think two batches equal a trove, right? I mean, you see how they're writing this up. And again, I'm not a Trump guy. I'm not a pro-Trump dude at all. You know me, by any stretch of the imagination. But I mean, you got two presidents of the United States that did the same thing. They both mishandled classified information. And this article is trying to make one president, he had troves of information. And the other president, it was a couple batches. All right, well, what constitutes a batch and what constitutes a trove? And it was two batches. I mean, again, does two batches equal one trove? Or do you need four batches? You know what I mean? Like, what are we talking about here? How many documents? Probably hundreds. In both instances, it was probably hundreds of documents that were mishandled by a former vice president and a current president. And I guarantee you, he probably mishandled some classified documents. I'm talking about Biden. He's probably mishandled classified documents since he's been in the White House as president. And I'm pretty sure that's all come to a screeching halt. I'm pretty sure they got a team, maybe two or three teams, ensuring that these documents are handled properly and there's a paper trail for everyone who's around them when they're outside of the CSI room and all that kind of stuff. So, SEI, whatever. I might be using the wrong acronym, but there's a special room that they built that you're supposed to read these documents in. You can't even talk, and it's like a special room to handle these types of documents. And forgive me for getting my acronyms mixed up, but it's basically the highest security for documents and information. So whatever that is, it might be SEI or something like that. I can't remember the acronym because I wasn't authorized to touch those type of documents. You know what I mean? I was clear for top secret. That was it. All the stuff we're talking about is above top secret, ultra and above that. So, oh man, I tell you what, bro. This isn't looking good for not just these two presidents, but I'm telling you, I wouldn't be surprised if Obama, Clinton, the Bushes, I think they all probably mishandled classified information. It was probably one of those things that people just kind of like, well, it is the president. He needs to see this stuff. So what? He took the papers with him into the restroom. So what? He took the papers with him to dinner at the residence. They're kind of letting it slide, which they shouldn't. And then someone comes along and they stretch it. They take it too far. And that's kind of what happened with Trump. It kind of took it too far. And then when the National Archives came looking for the documents, the Trump people were saying, we gave them all to you. We don't have any of these extra documents. And then we come to find out that they did still have these documents. And that was the big problem for Trump. Biden and his administration seems to be working with the National Archives and folks like that. But still, he should not have had these documents. And we don't know what type of documents they were. We don't know what type of information they covered. So, this could be a serious problem. Stuff that should have been returned in 2016. And here it is, 2023. This all happened in 2022. And they're just now recovering these documents. How come the National Archives took so long to find these documents? It didn't take them as long, or not find them, but look for these documents. Doesn't seem like they were even looking for these documents. This attorney just turned them in when he found the batches and turned them all in or whatever. So why is it that they took them so long to figure out these documents were missing? Why is it that they were so quick to jump on Trump to get these documents that he had? There's questions, yo. I got questions. Brother Smith, on a good note, by the end of the week, I'll have 2 videos uploaded to my channel, and I plan out my future videos. That's what's up, man. Drop the link in here, bro. Smeebles, drop your link in here, man. So I want to go. We can all go check out your stuff. I definitely want to come check you out, man. I want to see your stuff, bro. Definitely do that, man. Drop your link in here. I'm pretty sure you can. Pretty sure, because mods can do that, and I'm pretty sure I put a wrench by your name. So please drop your stuff in there, bro. I'm just checking something real quick. So yeah, man, that's really good. I'm glad you're doing it, man. Like, this stuff is, YouTube is fun, bro, but it is challenging, man. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. This is not simple by no stretch of the imagination. This is not simple at all. But I really do. We got Nightish in the house. What's good? What's good with you? So Nightish, so Trump has files now. Biden got files, I guess. Yeah. So Trump had files. Now Biden has got files. Yeah, man, they both did. They were both wrong. I guess Biden had these files when he was vice president that he should have returned when his term was up, and he didn't. They found him in his private residence, and they also found him in his offices of a think tank, a political organization that he had set up. And then how long were they there? Apparently they weren't secured. We don't know what the documents entailed. A lot of stuff that people don't know, and they're going to have to put together these, whatever. They're going to have to put together hearings and do investigations and blah, 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 blah. Bottom line, they screwed up. Both of them screwed up. So whatever happens to Trump for screwing up, something should happen to the current president. It is not the same. I'm not saying that the same thing should happen. They did break the same rule. Trump did aggravate the situation by not turning in the documents, by blowing smoke up everybody, but then lying and saying that we did turn these documents in. His attorney actually signed an affidavit stating that they turned all the documents in. That's why they needed a search warrant. That's what led to the whole Mar-a-Lago thing, and the FBI did find what they were looking for. So that really looks bad for Trump and Team Trump. That looks bad, especially for that attorney, whoever signed that affidavit. That person is in some trouble. Biden, same thing. He has documents he shouldn't have had. He's had these documents for a long time. Now, Biden was, they voluntarily found the documents and they turned the documents in. I don't know if it was they had some insider help. Maybe someone got on the phone and was like, yo, they looking for these papers. He has them. They think they're in his think tank office and they think they're in his personal residence over here. Y'all need to find them documents and get them back to us ASAP, or we're going to have to do a Trump, y'all. We're going to have to do a raid. Maybe that happened. Maybe somebody got some notice like, yo, they coming for these papers, and they found the papers. Not like they could ask Biden, what did you do with the papers? We know he can't remember anything. I'm not quite sure if he knows where he is from moment to moment. The dude's old. He's old. He should not be president right now. It's my personal opinion. He should not be president. But we need him to hold on. Hold on, Joe. Don't go anywhere just yet, because we do not want Kamala Harris as president of the United States. That is a bad thing. Don't want that. So, Joe, now you're in there. Hold on, bro. Hold on to the election. Hold on to 2024. And then he's going to run for re-election, which is stupid. But that's not this episode. We're not going to get into that. That's not this episode. But they both did the same thing. Both of them. There should be some sort of punishment, some sort of consequence. There should be something that needs to happen. So we'll have to wait and see how it plays out. But here's the thing for those who are playing team politics, Republican versus Democrat, Trump versus Biden, they're both wrong, bro. Both of them. Both of them. Dead wrong. They shouldn't have done it. They knew better, especially Biden. You can make the argument, and I'm not trying to make this argument, but you can make the argument that Donald Trump really didn't understand the system when people told him, all you got to do is think that the documents are no longer classified. That means you've declassified them. All you got to do is think it into existence. And maybe he believed it as told to him. But he didn't realize there was a process behind it. Maybe. You want to make that argument? Trump is new to politics, and certainly at that level, he wasn't a mayor. You know what I mean? He wasn't a senator. He wasn't a congressman. He wasn't on a school board. He doesn't know anything about government and how it works. So if you want to make the argument that Trump just didn't understand, okay, I'll let you make that argument. But Joe Biden, he's been in politics his whole adult life, his entire adult life. He knew better. He knew having those documents were wrong. As vice president, no less, he knew it. There's no getting around that. You cannot say, oh, I didn't know any better. That's bull, bro. You knew it. So Biden's 100% wrong. So I look at them on the same plane. Even though Trump was out saying we didn't have it and we turned him in and they caught him red-handed, so to speak. They did the raid. They found the documents. Shaky Joe, no, he knew he had those documents. He might want to claim he doesn't remember. Oh, I thought I turned him in. You know, he old now. You probably use that card. Oh, I thought I turned him in. I didn't realize that. So, but I ain't buying none of it, man. So if something happens to Trump, something definitely needs to happen to Biden. As you know, whatever. It's something. Something needs to happen. And we need to be watching, you know, the presidents. Probably need to go back in time and make sure Obama and Clinton and the Bushes don't have troves or batches of, you know, security information, still classified information at their homes or businesses or whatever. They need to go back and check all that. You know what I mean? If y'all listening, Obeezy, man, go ahead and do a quick sweep. Make sure you ain't got nothing extra. Make sure your paperwork tight. Same thing with Clinton. Make sure y'all paperwork tight, and the Bushes. Y'all better go back and make sure. Do your own little internal audit. You know what I mean? Because these presidents seem like they were out of line, and they should pay. I know what would happen to me if I messed up those secure information, the secure equipment, the secure documents. As an employee of the FAA, I could be fired and jailed, fined, fired, and jailed, depending on what it is. They lock you up for that. They fire you for that. They fine you for that. Not only do they fire you, they take your ability to make money with them, but they take money from you. That's how serious it is at that level. And it should be all the way up through the top. So, you know, I don't know what the punishment should be. Y'all tell me. You know what I mean? But this is wrong. It's wrong for Trump and it's wrong for Biden. And if they catch Obeezy, they catch Obama with some documents like that, the paperwork ain't right, it'd be wrong for him too. Brother Smeebles, there's this link. Y'all check out Brother Smeebles, man. Go over there, give him a quick, go ahead and subscribe and check out what he's doing over there. We support each other out here in these YouTube trenches, y'all. So go ahead. Thanks for dropping that, bro. I'm going to definitely check it out. You know what I'm saying? So make sure y'all go over there and check that out. But that's where we are with this, man. America needs to understand, in order for our country to work, in order for our society to work, in order for our government to work, everyone got to follow the rules. There's no one above the law. Like, I understand you're going to get some, you know, privilege. If you're president of the United States or you're governor of a state or you're the mayor, whatever, chief of police, there's going to be a little bit of privilege there, but you can't be getting all the way out of pocket and expect nothing to happen. Right down here in Tampa recently, the chief of police for a Tampa Police Department was riding around in one of those like golf carts in the neighborhood. She got pulled over by law enforcement, and it was a different municipality. I don't think it was like Hurd PD. It might have been the sheriff or something like that. Pulled her over, and she got out and was basically like, hey, trying to pull that little rank. Hey, I'm the chief of PD Tampa and da-da-da. I didn't really delve into the story too deep, but she was trying to use that privilege to get out of the situation she was in. I don't know if there was alcohol involved or anything like that, but long story short, she wound up resigning because all this was on the body cam. And she, you know, she's basically trying to get out of this situation, which was dumb. I mean, it was just stupid. You know what I mean? Just take the ticket, whatever it is, just take the ticket and deal with it later. But she, you know, she tried to use that influence. It backfired. She had to step down. You see what I mean? Now, if they didn't have any body cameras, she absolutely would have got away with that. But you know, you're living in the era of body cameras. You got to be accountable. You got to, you know what I'm saying? You got to figure out a smooth way to do it. I'm surprised the police don't have, you know what I mean? Like they don't have some sort of secret sign. Like you get pulled over and you like a high ranking copper, you get pulled over by somebody else and you just kind of jump out the car and do one of these or something. You know what I mean? Say the magic words and they're like, oh, you one of us. You know what I mean? Okay. And that way, you know, something. I don't know. That's what I would do. You got to have some sort of secret handshake or something so people know you them boys and they can move accordingly. But nah, they didn't have that. She was just talking. Basically like, let me go kind of thing. Like, you know what it is? Let's brush this up under the rug. It's a big old body camera right here. You can't be out there talking fly. You got a big body camera. You know what I mean? Saying all this stuff. It's just like, yeah, it's because all the body camera is going to hear. And if I'm the police officer just doing the stop, all I'm hearing is blah, 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 let me go, blah, 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 illegal, blah, 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 set up, blah, blah, blah. Nah, I'm doing it by the book. Y'all can handle this later. Here go the ticket. Y'all can handle this later. That's what I would do. And like I said, it cost her position as chief of police. Now, of course, there was a lot more behind that, her being appointed and all that kind of stuff. There was a lot behind it. Maybe I will do a follow-up show on that. But in the end, she was held accountable for her actions. Just like these two men, the current president and the former president should be held accountable for their actions. Right? And then, you know, I guess people might argue, well, Joe Biden did it as vice president. I don't care if he did it as the presidential chef. It doesn't matter. He still violated the protocols. Right? What they are trying to protect is serious. Right? America is great because of our secrets and our ability to keep them. These guys just walking around willy-nilly with these documents, that's going to jeopardize everything that we hold dear as Americans. That's going to jeopardize our situation in the world, how we're viewed by everyone else. It could cause fights. It could cause destabilization. It could cause people to get hurt, people to get killed. So we gotta maintain that rule, that one rule, right? Keep these documents safe. We gotta do that. I don't care who you are. We gotta do that. You know, so that's the whole thing with this Biden thing, bro. So, you know, and people were like, well, they're making all this smoke and mirrors and all this kind of stuff, man. All the distractions. I don't care about none of that other stuff, bro. I don't care. All I care about is you had the documents. You know you weren't supposed to have the documents. What's the punishment for this? It ain't no trial. We don't need no tribunal. We're going to look into it. We're going to do the investigation. We got the documents. We know the documents weren't supposed to be there. Period. Don't care what your title was when you did it. Don't care about nothing. I don't care what your title is now. You know what I mean? Here we are years down the road. Well, I'm president now. So what? You're going to have to pay for this. Someone's going to have to deal with this. Right? And just like the former president. And it makes sense to me. That's why the White House was so quiet when Trump was going through all that. Biden wasn't saying jack. And now we know why. Biden was like, man, I got some documents too. Man, I need to figure out a way to get these documents back where they're supposed to be before these people realize they gone. I definitely can't be saying nothing about this other guy. Now that makes perfect sense to me. Yeah, you better be quiet about it. And he probably forgot. He's probably sitting there, we got him now, let's use this. And his people was like, nah, bro, you got those documents yourself, bro. You got batches. He got trolls. Like, we got to figure out how we gonna spend this. So nah, shut up. Sit there and talk about something else when they bring this up. Now that makes sense. So yeah, man. I mean, I look at that. They're both wrong. They both should have to deal with it. You know what I mean? Point blank, period. Sister Candace wanted to talk about this, and man, she probably couldn't make it because I'm looking for her. She's not in the chat. She probably couldn't make it. This is her show. So I'm gonna try to drag this out just a little bit longer. So it's something else I definitely want to talk about. I did a short, and I'm gonna play the short for you guys. Let me pull it up. And I was actually talking about Donald Trump and what Trump is doing to the Republican Party. That's not it. Here it is. Is Trump destroying the Republican Party? Is destroying the Republican Party? I did a short. This is a YouTube short. We're gonna check this out, y'all. Let me bring this one up. Make it a little bigger. I might make it full screen since it's me anyway. Right? Turn the mute off. Let's check this out. Destroying the Republican Party bit by bit. He's messing with their money, right? He's taking donations to his, you know what I mean, to his PAC. He's taking money away from the RNC. He's not using any of the money that he has in his reserves to help, during the last election cycle, which could have been used. There were a lot of races across the board that could have used that money. Look at what happened in Georgia. Look what happened in Arizona. Look what happened in Nevada. Look what happened in Pennsylvania. There was, bro. So there's a lot of people who think like you, and they're like, oh, Trump's the kingmaker. Trump should be polished. Trump's the loser, bro. Look at what he has done since he hit the scene. He's really hurt the Republican Party. He's not a team player. He's all about Trump, and I ain't mad at him. He's gonna do what he's gonna do, right? But yeah, he has lost a lot of power. Now that Trump is actually So I did that YouTube short, and I think it has over 800 views so far. I got some comments on there. A lot of people were like, "Good, you know what I mean? He should, let him destroy the Republican Party." There was some people. There was one guy in there that just said, "That's not true." That's all he said. That's not true, and didn't have anything other than that. Like, what do you mean it's not true? It's absolutely true. So, and again, y'all know I'm not a Trump guy at all. I'm just not. But there are, like I tell my people all the time, you got Trumpers and you got Republicans, and the Republicans are doing their best to get rid, to get Trump out of the picture, to get him going, because they see what he's doing. And here it is right here. Yahoo News. Yahoo News right here. So Paul Ryan delivers IME's prediction for a proven loser, Donald Trump. And this is Paul Ryan, former Speaker of the House. This is a very young, political savvy dude who's kind of been way back in the wings as the whole Trump era kind of unfolded and did what he did. Now Trump, the administration is gone, and Ryan has definitely stepped up and is doing what, man, he's got a lot to say about Trump. And, it's just one of those things, bro. It's when I put these things out, man, I'm not trying to bash the dude, Trump or whatever. I'm just trying to, hey, man, here it is. You can take this information and do what you will with it. But here it is. So, former House Speaker Paul Ryan, Republican out of Wisconsin, says his party is done with Donald Trump. Mind you, this is a real conservative. This is a hardcore Republican. This is Paul Ryan, y'all. This is what Paul Ryan is saying. He said he's fading fast. He said Thursday on CNN, he's a proven loser who cost us the House in 2018. He cost us the White House in 2020. He cost us the Senate again and again. And I think we all know that. So Ryan's coming at him hard, bro. No gloves on. He's getting at him. Ryan said he believed Republicans are moving past the former president who has already announced his 2024 candidacy to return to the White House. I can't imagine him getting the nomination, frankly, Ryan said. And that was a tweet. I'm gonna have to get my Twitter back on, y'all. I ain't never really been active on that, but it looks like I'm gonna have to. Trump's political demise has been predicted repeatedly since he first threw his hat into the presidential ring in 2015. However, he remains popular with his party's base. And though recent polls show that's slipping, he's still considered the favorite for the 2024 nomination, which is crazy. That is absolutely insane. The Republicans really just can't get right with this guy. A CBS News poll released earlier this week found that 2/3 of the GOP voters believe loyalty to Trump is either very or somewhat important. That's crazy. Ryan was speaker for the first half of Trump's term, and the two often clashed. Since leaving office in 2019, he has spoken out against Trump, and last year said anybody not named Trump is more likely to win the White House for the GOP in 2024. He currently sits on the board of directors at Fox Corporation, the parent company of Fox News, and that's Paul Ryan. And anybody who sits on the board makes at least $125,000, y'all, just FYI. So, like I said, it's always money. He's bought and paid for it too, like everybody else. But that's the point being this. The hardcore Republicans, the real professional Republicans, the politicians out there, they're saying the same thing. Trump is bad for the Republican Party. I agree with what Ryan is saying. I really do. But here's the thing. Trump still holds all the cards. He just does. It doesn't matter. Like if everyone loves DeSantis right now, who DeSantis can't win a national election. He just can't. If DeSantis were smart, he'll just stay down here in Florida and just govern for at least one more cycle. Forget about 2024. Maybe focus on 2028. But if I were DeSantis, if I was on his team, I would tell him, like, man, don't even think about a national election right now. Because Trump would be forced. If Trump went into the primaries and DeSantis was forced to deal with him, DeSantis would have to out-Trump Trump, which is impossible. The process itself will paint him so far right, so far radical, that the rest of the country will see him as Trump. So it's just like clones, period. Like two clones, just two sides of the same coin. Because once you get down and dirty with someone like Donald Trump, all that footage is out there. It's nothing but campaign footage for the other side. So you got that. I think DeSantis could beat Trump in a Republican primary. I think he could. Right? And let's say that DeSantis gets the primary, he gets the nomination, he gets the nod, and he runs as the Republican nominee for president of the United States in 2024. Okay, fine. What would Trump do? Is Trump going to sit back and support him like all the rest? Is Trump going to get in line? Is he going to shake hands, go out there and campaign and be one big happy team Republican so they can win the White House? Absolutely not. Trump doesn't care about any of that. He only cares about himself. What's Trump going to do? Trump's going to run as an independent, and he's going to Ross Perot the heck out of the Republicans in 2024. If Trump does not win the primary and get the nomination from the Republican Party, he's going to run anyway. He's going to run with that Carrie Lake woman probably, or someone who's just as radical as he is. What are they going to do? They're going to take 15 to 20% of the Republican vote, splitting that ticket. Democrats win. Hands down. Whoever the Democrat nominee is wins. Hands down. There's just no way that any Republican candidate could win missing 20% of the Republican vote. Now, having said that, there is one person that I think could run the table and actually, kind of flip the script on that whole thing, and that's Liz Cheney. And I did a couple shows on Liz Cheney. Go back and check it out in the catalog. I think Liz Cheney could run. I think that she could beat Trump in a primary. I really do. Same thing happens. He would run as an independent, take his 15 to 20%. But I think Liz Cheney makes that up with independents and some Democrats. I think she can overcome that deficit. You know what I mean? Because she wouldn't have to get down and dirty with him in the primary. She doesn't have to. He's already been taking shots at her. She's already established herself as a grown up in the room, so to speak, when it comes to that. She's, her pedigree, is unquestioned. You look at the family she comes from. Her resume stands on its own. I think Liz Cheney comes in there, that kind of flips the script. That's the wild card. I think Liz Cheney, if she ran as a Republican, if she won the nomination, I think that she could win a national election, even with Trump playing the role of the spoiler and taking 15 to 20% of the Republican vote. I think more Republicans would get out to vote. I think more of the old school, fiscally conservative GOP people, they come out and they come out and they vote for her. And then she also wins over 60% of the independents, depending on her platform. I think she could do it. She's a savvy politician. I think she could take the White House. And then it would depend on who she's running against. If she's running against Gavin Newsom, yeah, I think Cheney wins the White House. I think Cheney, you won't take California, but I think she'll be competitive everywhere else. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I think she. You look at someone like Cheney. I think she gets Nevada. I think she gets Arizona. I think she gets Florida. I think she gets Georgia. Right? It'll be very competitive in Pennsylvania. I think then anything else that's traditional Republican like Ohio and like all the other states. I think she gets that. I think she'll be very competitive in that blue wall. You know what I mean? So you're looking at Michigan. You're looking at Minnesota, Wisconsin. Pennsylvania. I think she's very competitive. I mean, again, it's a long way away. We don't know who's going to run or who's going to do what, but that's a long way away. I think that Cheney could to make some moves. And again, we don't know. Like there's Kemp out of Georgia who could also do some good things. But I think because Cheney is the one who's been fighting Trump the longest, she was standing up against him while he was in office. I think that's real appealing to like the real GOP, like the real hardcore Republicans, not the Trumpers. The Trumpers will go with Trump no matter what. And that's that 15 to 20%, maybe 25% on the outside that they're just gone. But I think she can make up that deficit with some moderate Democrats and with independents. So I think it'll be cool. But DeSantis, Brother Tarusa's in the house. What's good, fam? DeSantis has a real shot at winning the generals. I don't see that at all, bro. Especially what's going on down here in Florida. DeSantis is running amok. He is doing some bad things. He still has to answer for that, flying those, migrants from Texas to the Northeast. Let me drop the link, Brother Tarus, so you can jump up here, man. Let's have this conversation real quick. We got a few minutes. We'll probably talk about this for about 15 minutes or so. I don't think DeSantis stands a chance in a national election, and that's just against the field. You know what I mean? Like when you start naming names like who he would probably have to go against. Nah, I don't. And again, it's not even a given that he will make it through the primary process. This is going to be a really crazy primary season for the Republicans. Liz Cheney ain't no pushover. You got Kemp, you got Paul Ryan might throw his name in the hat. You got people who are they're going to be just devastating Trump and anyone who's close to Trump. And they're going to be painting DeSantis as a Trump, crony, like a little baby Trump. So I don't see DeSantis doing well in a national election. I used him as an example because everyone's so, Team DeSantis after he had that really good win the last cycle. You know what I mean? It wasn't even close for keeping his governor's seat. I mean, he really wasn't, Charlie Crist really wasn't, you know what I mean? Like the Democrats didn't really put up a strong candidate. So I don't see it, man. We got Brother Tarus right here, man. Let's see what he's talking about. What's good, fam?
Yo, what's up, man?
How you feeling, bro?
Whew, man, motivated, tired, annoyed. First world problems, bro.
First world problems, man. I'm glad you have them. You know what I mean? So this looks like you've been listening to a brother ramble on a little bit, man. But you're thinking that DeSantis may stand a chance in a national election?
Absolutely.
Go ahead. Convince me.
The only person I believe capable of beating DeSantis in a general would probably be Hakeem Jeffries. Because literally no one else except Biden, if he somehow dodges, all this shit, because I believe they already appointed a special counsel. So, maybe if he survives that, then he could probably beat DeSantis, but it would be really close. But if it's anybody else except Hakeem Jeffries and Biden, DeSantis is going to mop the floor against whoever it is he goes against.
I don't agree at all. And I mean, it's just one of those things. The stuff that he's doing down here in Florida, Floridians turn a blind eye to a lot of it because, political teams. But like DeSantis is doing some bad stuff down here. This thing he was doing with the "Don't Say Gay" thing with Disney. He's lucky that Disney's not going to legally they can't pull out. But if he had his way, if Disney was able to really disengage from Orlando, it would devastate that area of Florida. Taxes would go through the roof. A lot of people would be forced to sell their homes and move. There would be services going unfunded. You know what I mean? Because Disney pays for everything. Like the police officers, the first responders in that area under Disney get some of the best salaries and they get some of the best benefits than most law enforcement and, you know, first responders in the nation. You know, Disney funds all that. It's like a great deal. And DeSantis is messing with that over the "Don't Say Gay" thing. Now, you know, let's look at education. Let's look at teachers. There's been a migration of teachers in Florida leaving. They're just leaving because of the way the system is set up down here, and it's very hostile towards teachers. Again, I'm not going to get into the specifics of it. I understand that there are issues, but they are hemorrhaging teachers down here left and right. I'm in one of the best school districts in Florida, and they can't keep their teaching numbers up. They're losing the best teachers, the best of the best every year. My daughter's in middle school, and we deal with this every single season, every year. So a lot of this is due to DeSantis' policies, right? Just those two things alone. And that thing he did with the migrants, flying them out of Texas, you know, coming through Florida and then up to the Northeast, bro, that ain't over. And it may be illegal, some aspects of that.
But I don't know if you remember about a month or two ago, we actually talked about that. And legally, it's dicey. Politically, that stunt worked. And by the way, good to see you. Good to see you healthy. Thank you for once again inviting me to your platform. Good to see. Did you have a good trip in Florida?
Fire. It was fire, bro.
Yeah.
It was fire. Thanks.
So some of the issues, this is the same thing I tell people too about inflation. You're mentioning issues that isn't a state specific problem, just like inflation isn't an American specific problem, right? All the world, especially all the first worlds, are experiencing inflation. So there's no country that you can pick, right? That's better than America that isn't dealing with inflation. Just like there's no state you can pick in America that isn't dealing with the teacher shortage right now. I live in Lake County, Ohio. This is Trump County, and we're dealing with the same issue. So are other issues because of lack of pay, because of qualifications, because of so many things. And you have to remember that these things were happening before the midterms. And look what DeSantis still did in Florida. Right. One of the huge things that boosts DeSantis, and again, you know, I'm a liberal, I'm leftist, however you want to describe it, but
you're an anarchist, man. Put on your smiley face mask.
Did you see how prepped he was when the hurricanes came through?
He did his job. He did a great job. I mean, I had to give him all kind of credit for that.
And right now, other than Biden, DeSantis is the only person who has a resume that says when you need him to be a leader the most, he leads. Right. And so that's going to be the big thing, because other than Biden, who else has that? Who else can say that they actually had the state prepped for a national weather emergency like that? I got to give him credit for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we give him credit for that. But again, it's I think what you're missing is, like, he's done some good things, but the bad things he's done, they really play bad. Like, okay, the migrant thing plays well with Trumpers. It did not play well with conservative Republicans at all, because they saw the play like that was dumb. And the thing that really hurts him on that is where he got the money from to do that. Right? There's a lot going on with money down here in Florida that DeSantis is behind, this administration is behind. And these are the things that in Florida, it plays well. But when you're looking at a national election, not so much. You know what I mean?
That's the thing. I think it does play well, because, I mean, remember, he did that with the same stunt as the Texas governor, right? They was both busing migrants all over the country trying to score political points. And guess what? They was doing that before the midterms, and they mopped the floor in those elections. You know what I mean? And so when you look at it in general, for example, like here in this subdivision, you know what I was seeing all midterms? Anti-CRT posters up You know who won some of these local elections? Anti-CRT crowds, the same anti-trans people, and so it absolutely plays. It's again, I think if it's DeSantis or Trump, DeSantis, he'll squeak out of the primaries, but in the general, I really think he'll probably sweep.
Nah, I don't think so. And then like you look at places like Georgia, you look at places like Pennsylvania, you look at Arizona, you look at Nevada, right? I don't know if you come out looking like Trump, if you're a Trump clone, or people paint you as the same as Trump. Those are 4 Republican strongholds that you might not win. You know what I mean? And
I don't know, because you got to remember, at least half of the Latino community is conservative, and the Republicans have been increasing their demographics amongst the Latino community, which is primarily in those states you just named.
Yeah, but that plays well in Texas. You know what I mean? But like again, like I just don't see it. I really don't. But what do I know, man? I'm just an old man sitting in his attic talking to a computer. You know what I mean? But I want. It's like, but what do I know? I just don't see it. And with respect to the busing people and flying these people, when the news broke that he flew those people up to Maine or wherever he flew them to Martha's Vineyard. That's what he sent them. He flew them up to Martha's Vineyard, and he started to back away from it. First, like, yeah, I did it. And then all of a sudden, his people were like, yo, this might be illegal. And he started backing away from it. So, and you haven't seen any since. So,
right. I mean, but you got to remember the purpose. Again, is it illegal? Was it wrong? Most likely, yes. The answer is both. However, unfortunately, because we know politicians get away with everything, damn near. I mean, you damn near got to commit murder for something to actually get the hammer dropped on you. Remember what happened when he sent them to Martha's Vineyard. He proved everyone right, because what did those rich, uppity ass liberals do in that area? Start complaining about illegal immigrants in their cities.
Now, the first thing they did was put them up in multi-million-dollar properties. That's the first thing they did. Second thing they did was they fed them, they got them proper clothes and medicine, and they did all this. They took care of the people first. Once they secured the folks, then they started complaining about what's going on.
Right. And the secure part is correct. When I'm talking about, again, when you're dealing with politics, remember, as you know, this is hearts and minds. And so what it showed the country was, you do the right thing, but you're supposed to do the right thing in every country. What they proved the liberals, or at least these elitist liberals, wrong, was that, they weren't all welcoming. They did the right thing, but they want them gone. You get what I mean? It's sort of like Cali, right? It's not that they want to fix homeless crisis. It's they want the homeless people out of their eyesight on their day-to-day activities.
And see that, and that was, again, with that particular stunt, it didn't work the way they hoped it would work, because you've given these elitists the law. They get the power of the law. They're like, well, why are these people here? We're gonna take care of them. But if they're not here legally, they don't have documentation. We gotta get rid of these people. And it turned out they did have documentation, because they were waiting for their day in court. Again, making DeSantis looks foolish. Yeah, right. Because these people are just like following the letter of the law, and the people who look into this, they're like, man, it didn't really go the way they had hoped. And the reason I say that is because he backed away from it, and he's running from it to this day. And I hate that I'm out here defending the liberal side of things in this. You know what I mean? This is what, like, these Trumpers. These
are politicians, bro. They work for us, not the other way around.
But the fact that it forces me to defend, like, I'm like, it's like I'm defending the liberals and attacking the conservatives, which I'm not. You know what I mean? It's like what he did was dumb. You know what I mean? And he knows it was dumb, and he's running from it. When it comes to like California wants the cheap labor. California wants them there. The homeless issue was just something different. Again, that's all under a really silly dude who's running that state. Those people in Cali are just doing dumb things. But, again, in the national election, just doesn't play well in those states that they would need. Especially if they could tie you to Trump. And that's the thing. Like, look at what he's doing. This is like what Trump would do. You want another Trump. If I was running against the guy, oh, my God, I would smear him all over the place. This is Trump, right? And then he'll come out and say something stupid and make the people of Georgia mad, right? Because they're tired of dealing with Trump. They still got to deal with that. You know, he'll say something, you know, even though the guy was military, you know, and that's the one thing that really helps him out. He's military, and his experience has really helped him as an executive. But it's like he's still making dumb calls. You know, it's just, you know, it's a tough one. I don't see him winning a national election. But, you know, let's look who the Democrats, who he might be facing. Because, again, I like Liz Cheney. I make that no secret. If she runs, I'm going to get involved in that campaign. I'm definitely Team Cheney. You know what I mean? So let's look at this, right? So this is from The Hill, and this is who they're calling the front runners from the Democratic side for 2024.
If she
Kamala
runs as
Harris.
an L. If she runs as an L.
She won't make it through the primary process. Absolutely, I agree. I don't like her. Buttigieg. Hard for him to win a national election, man, because they're just going to smear him with the whole alphabet, you know, LGBTQ and all that kind of stuff, and it hurts his campaign. I think he's a savvy politician. I think the man makes good decisions. I would absolutely consider him under normal circumstances, but it's not going to be about his record. It's not going to be about his experience. It's going to be the fact that he has a husband. And that is just going to destroy any chances of him winning a national election, which sucks. Gretchen Whitmer. You know what I mean? The liberals love her. They really do. Because, you know what I mean? Like the Trumpers hate her. Just like they're public enemy number 2. AOC is always going to be number 1. But they're, you know, looking at her. Gavin Newsom, absolutely not. He's the most empty of all empty suits. Look what he's doing in California. You know what I mean? Just absolutely destroyed the state.
Deal. You and I agree on Gavin, and watch the complete opposite happens. He end up being the most viable because he's so opposite of DeSantis. You know what I mean?
I mean, I think anyone in this field beats DeSantis in the national election with the exception of Pete Buttigieg. I think the rest of them just run away with it. You know what I mean? So those are like the top ones. And this is so early. We have no idea who's going to throw their name in a hat. I like Andrew Yang. I think Andrew Yang is going to run. I do like Andrew Yang. I'm not going to lie. But he just doesn't have the backing it takes, you know what I mean, to win that election. It won't be enough people taking him serious enough. But I think that, and he's going to be running under his, Forward Party. So he won't be running as a Democrat or Republican, which I like. I think there should be more people, more parties in America.
But, that's just going to split the vote.
Which is great. Keep splitting it. Trump's already going to split the vote. And that's another thing, too. Trump's not going to go away. Unless he get locked up, unless he has to go to jail for some crime or whatever that's pending out there. Unless that happens, if he's able to run in 2024, he'll run as an independent. I don't see him winning a nomination as a Republican from the Republican Party. He runs as an independent. He takes 15 to 25% of the vote. No Republican can overcome that with that one exception, Liz Cheney. I think that's the only person who might be able to overcome that deficit, that 20 to 25, that 15 to 25% deficit that Trump takes.
DL, she couldn't even win re-election in her own state, though. Right? Like a whole bunch of conservatives hate Liz Cheney.
Look where she is. Look at that state. I get that. But a national election, she plays well. She plays very, very well. Right? That's a Republican stronghold. It's not that she even needs that state. And if she's running as, if she wins the Republican nomination, she has that state. She has it sewn up. If she wins.
She won't win Florida simply because Trump's going to tell everybody not to vote for her.
Trump has no power in Florida. So it'd be DeSantis. She won't win Florida because of DeSantis, possibly. But she wins Georgia. She wins Nevada. She wins Arizona. Right? She might win Pennsylvania. You look at Michigan. You look at Wisconsin. You know what I mean? You look at these places. She'll do really well, really, really well. You know what I mean? She's got Texas. She'll do really, really well. Look who will be campaigning for her. All of the traditional Republicans. Now, the thing is, it's a long road for her. If Paul Ryan's out there, that's another savvy, very, very savvy politician. So it's wide open on the Republican side. It's wide open. I don't see Trump winning. I see him playing the spoiler. I see him doing the Ross Perot for whoever's out there running. You know what I mean? Be it DeSantis, be it Ryan, be it Nikki Haley, be it Tulsi Gabbard. It could be any of them. Liz Cheney. I think he takes those points away, and the Democrat wins no matter what. That's what I think happens in 2024, which is sad. You know what I mean? But then we'll
Yeah.
see what happens with the House. We'll see what happens with the Senate. I hope it stays close and it forces these politicians to do what the founding fathers designed the process to do anyway, which is they have to work together. We got to come away from this team politics stuff. So that's what I think. But so, what are your thoughts on the documents, the Biden papers, and what's going on with Trump? What's your take on that, real quick?
He needs to be held to the same standard anybody else. That's why I'm glad they appointed the special counsel. Look into this. And if they find that he intentionally did this or intentionally did it, he needs to go through the impeachment process just like anyone else.
So you say impeachment?
Yeah, I mean, it's.
Now keep in mind,
this
is what he did when he was vice president. He did this as vice president.
So that's the tough part, right? Is because just like Trump, this happened after he was president, or with Biden, vice versa. Before he was president. But it happened as he was vice president of the United States of America. Biden knew better. He's been in politics his whole life, been in government his whole life. He knew better. Right. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. So if these are truly classified documents, just like anything else, he needs to go through the or at least through the process, through the DOJ. Again, I don't. For me, even though I'm leftist, the Democratic Party or parties is simply a platform, right? I don't. That's just a platform that I identify closely to. I don't give a shit about what happens to these politicians, bro. If you corrupt, you corrupt.
And you know, my stance on that is if people know your first and last name, you're bought and paid for. Point blank, period. If I know your first and last name as an elected official, you know, like you look at someone like AOC. People, oh, she's not bought and paid for. Like, yes, she is. Keep your eye on her bank account. You know what I mean?
It just matters who's paying you, right? I guess that's what always makes the difference is, okay, who's funding you? Who's the man behind the curtain, if you will? And so that's dicey. It's just, again, like with Biden, I hear classified documents, I hear unsecured at his fucking private residence, I hear special counsel. Automatic.
Yep. I mean, like I say, he's wrong. We go at Trick. Ha ha ha.
7.
Oh my God, 7 people. Biden never heard documents from NARA.
NARA.
I mean,
is that one of the agencies? 4-letter agency?
Could be. I'm not sure. But
what is that? The National Archive, something.
He said you never hit. Oh, I think I know what you're talking about, because you know where Trump really went wrong is when they came looking for the documents. He allegedly tried to hide them and then stated that he didn't have them, and then had, you know, I said this earlier in the show, one of his attorneys signed an affidavit stating that all the documents were returned. We don't have them. That was the reason for the raid itself. That was the reason for the search warrant and everything. And they did in fact find the documents. So yeah, Trump was like Trump. Here's my thing. All that aside, point blank, he had the documents and he shouldn't have had the documents. All that doesn't help his case that he was trying to hide them and whatever else. I agree. If that in fact what you mean by that, but the fact that he had the documents, just like Biden had the documents. That's not even in question right now. He had the documents. They need to pay some sort of, you know, they need to be held to some sort of account. They need whatever the law dictates is what they need to do. They need to be punished.
So we got to remember with classified documents, right? This is why you see so many people, including Trump, sometimes skate the process, because especially if you're an elected official, there's certain classified documents you're allowed to keep. If let's say you're building like the presidential library, right? So if Biden had a whole bunch of classified documents, but none of them were labeled top secret or secret, yes, by technically he's still wrong, but we all know they're probably going to let him skate. The reason why Trump got raided is because, like you said, he tried to fight the process, and then he had legitimate top secret documents just laying around, you know what I mean? And so then and this is why the investigation is important. And this is why he needs to be investigated. And to be fair to Biden, he's cooperating, unlike Trump, right? And so we have to remember, as vice president, what were the regulations with classified documents at that time?
Yes.
You know what I mean? And so,
Which I'm somewhat familiar because I was under the same protocols as a member of air traffic control community working for the FAA,
yeah,
right? Federal Aviation Administration. There were certain documents if I took home, I could lose my job. I could wind up in jail for it. I'm pretty sure, no matter what these documents are, that they qualified for that. You know what I mean? Like they were important enough for that. So you're right. It is important that we have the investigation, that we see, what protocols were violated, and then we also look into the chart of penalties and figure out, okay, this is what you're guilty of, and this is what you got to do. Problem is, he's president now, so you know what I mean. This is a big thing. But again, I want to be clear on this. He's just as guilty as Trump. Trump's just as guilty as Biden. And I know what you're saying. The documents that Trump had were like really secretive. I get that. But, I'm kind of looking at it in general. They knew better. Well,
yeah,
certainly
for sure.
Biden knew better. So that's where I'm at with it. It's
and I
just
agree
crazy
with
this is
you
where we are.
completely.
Yeah.
I agree with you completely, just based on the standard. It's just unfortunate. You and I know how the real world works, and so they're going to take, the level of difficulty, if you will, the level of transgression into account. I mean, Trump found a way to dodge not being removed from office, trying to bribe the Ukrainian president. You know what I mean? So, I mean, Hillary Clinton was literally on live TV for 12 hours straight. Give credit to her. She's up in front and testified. She had classified documents. Look what happened. You know what I
Right.
mean? And so it's
Right.
just, yeah.
It's the world we're living in.
It sucks that the standard's that low, DL, but
it's the world we're living in.
Yeah.
And no one wants to be held account for anything. So I'm looking at this thing with Trump and Biden, and they might be looking at it like, well, look, we can't do anything to Biden, or correction, we can't do anything to Trump because we would have to turn around and do something to Biden. So let's just give him a smack on the wrist or something, which I think is all BS. You know what I mean? Like, it's either we're going to be serious about keeping our secrets or we're not. Either we're going to be serious about America and our rights or we're not. You know what I mean? Like, I got a show coming up where we're talking about these rules the ATF are making up, under the guise or under the instruction of the White House as a way of circumventing certain types of weapons and stuff like that. I'm going to be talking about that later on in the week. Hey, bro, like, either let Congress do their job or don't. Like, if you know what I mean, we have a Second Amendment or we don't. So, it's just where we are right now is just so stupid, bro. Like, I don't. Biden,
see,
Trump, don't matter.
That's why I like the midterms, because even though the midterms split the Congress, the message that also should have been sent is what you said earlier. The American people told Congress, get your shit together and actually start working together. Right? Two messages should have been brought from the midterms is, yes, this country's divided, but this country also looking for leadership to undivide us. You know what I mean? Like, is looking for somebody to unite us. Again, you kind of just settled for Biden because Trump was just trash. But I'm sorry, man. If Vice President Harris is the nominee, bro, I can't, because with all the Republicans, this is what they got wrong, and all the conservatives got wrong. It wasn't Joe Biden they hiding in the basement, flaws and all. Joe Biden's out there in public and TV doing all that shit. It's her that they hiding in the basement, trying to keep from doing any sort of public interviews and crap.
Because she's so unpopular, bro. Like, she's just
terrible at her job.
So unpopular. How can you be terrible at being vice president? It's the easiest job on the planet.
I don't know if she was all that good as senator.
Just like better than this.
I mean, remember, DL, during in the primary, she only got 6% of the vote.
Yeah, but she's a superstar in California, so being a senator, that was her thing. That might have been her peak. She should have stayed there. She should have stayed there and got some power and did whatever. But she was ambitious. She wants to be president. This was a great power move. This is Machiavellian at his finest. Like, I'm gonna get behind this guy that I know ain't gonna make it 4 years, and boom, I'll be president. But people hate her. I mean,
Once you get the job, you got to show up Once you no look, no matter how you got there, we could complain about the process. Once you're there, you got to show up. You know what I mean? Like you got to show up and do your job, and she hasn't. Every time I see her with the whole border thing, and I know that's a political division thing, so sometimes it's a lose-lose or a win-win. But every time I see her, she does horrible. She does horrible press conference. She does this little weird ass laugh when the reporter asks her tough questions, and then she just disappears. I'm not gonna. I don't want somebody like that as president of the United States.
Man, she can never be president of the United States. But if she were running for president in 2024 and there was a Republican nominee and there was Trump out there doing his thing, she would win. I'm telling you, bro.
She would, but that's only because he's splitting the Republican vote.
Exactly. She would win. Again, the only person I think at this point that could survive Trump running as an independent would be Cheney. I really think that she would get enough of the moderate Democrat vote and enough of the independent vote, the swing vote, to push her over the top. So that 15 to 25% wouldn't matter to her. I think she overcomes that. But again, we are way early. We'll see. We'll see. Who knows what monsters are lurking in her closet as we get closer to 2024. All that stuff is going to come out. So yeah, bro. So it looks like we agree on the same thing here, because both these men, the president and the former president and the current president, they were both wrong for what they did. And they should both have to deal with what, face the music. Whatever that is, they need to face the music. So, all right, bro, I'm glad you came up, man. Because this was a quick one. It was barely an hour and a half. This was a quick one. It wasn't as juicy as, people would like it to see the spicy stuff. But, bro, we got to get you on tomorrow, and let's talk some dating red pill stuff, bro.
Yeah,
let's do that. Let's do that first installment.
I want to hear about how the trip went too. You know what I mean?
Oh, it's fire. It's fire.
Oh yeah.
Uncle Saint did his thing. I didn't do my stizzle. But it was. I gotta give it to Fresh and Fit and the Fresh and Fit fam. Myron and Fresh they pulled it off. They put together a really good event. They had some hiccups in the last stage, closing stages of that. They had to switch the venue and do a whole bunch of stuff. But I tell you what, bro. It was a couple potholes, but overall, man, that event was worth it. I'm not gonna lie. If you and your wife came down, y'all would have had a good time. That's how good the event was. There were people in there that had no idea why they were there. They were just in there looking good, dancing, eating, and having a good time. I'm like, have you ever heard of Fresh and Fit? No, who was that? I'm like, those are the guys who are hosting this event. What?
Yeah, that's why I can't wait tomorrow for you to talk about it, because when I was just following some of the people on social media, a lot of people said it was a great time.
Man, you know what I mean? It was only the biggest complaint cool. was it was cold. No one saw that cold front coming. Yeah. Boy, it was cold and we on the water. But we can talk about that tomorrow, bro. You know what? Let's just do let's just talk red pill, manosphere, just an open discussion, like an open mic, open forum. So we can really get into the whole dating thing. I'm starting to see some changes out there with some of these young women, bro. I'm starting to see some changes in the way that they approach the dating game, the way that they're looking at being loose, like the whole body count thing, like the high value male thing. I'm hearing a lot of people, a lot of young women they're trying at least to adjust their way of thinking when it comes to chasing that, because they can't run away from the numbers. They're like, yeah, I guess I am chasing after the same women, the same dudes as all my friends. Y'all all going after the same top tier guys.
Yeah, because ultimately the numbers still disproportionately affect them worse. You know
yes,
what I mean? That's the
yes.
truth.
It's the truth. So we could talk about that, and it'll just be me and you, bro. We'll get a good hour, me and you, and then we'll open it up, and then we'll let it get crazy, because whenever depends on who jumps on the stream. Y'all know Brother Charus beat, man. Look, that dude right here. Soon as Charus gets on the stream, it's this, baby.
It's up.
It depends on who's the panel. It depends on who's on the panel.
You know what I mean? See, we got Brother Fred. DL, Trump and Obama had executive privilege to declassify. Biden didn't as VP. True. That's true, Brother Fred. That's absolutely true. However, Trump got confused with the process of declassifying those documents. He honestly believed that simply thinking that they're declassified meant that they were declassified, and there's a process. There's always a paper trail, and he didn't follow the procedure properly, and he had the documents. That's one of the problems that Trump has. with his issue there. Biden, right? Biden could not declassify anything as vice president. Absolutely, 100% true. And Biden knew the difference. That's another thing too. I want to stress. Biden knew. He can't say he didn't know. He's been in the Senate too long. He's been in D.C. for the majority of his adult life, so he can't say he didn't know. So I agree with you there, brother Fred. And thanks for coming through. You know what I mean? Primal Studies is in the house, man. What's good, fam? Good to see you. Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by.
Real quick to respond to Fred, DL, you hit it. You hit the nail on the head. And to emphasize, just because you were the president doesn't give you no longer have executive privilege once you're not president. You can't retroactively decide to declassify something. That's not how it works.
Right. You would need the incoming president to declassify those documents for you. And it didn't look like, Biden and his administration was kind of staying out of it. But Fred makes a valid point. You know what I mean? And with Biden, again, and brother Fred, I just want you to know something. I don't know where you stand on the spectrum or whatever, but where I stand on this, both those men were wrong. And both those men should have to pay for what they did. They violated the law, the rule of law, with the most sensitive documents that we have. We have to protect our secrets. You know what I mean? Too many people died, got themselves messed up to get those secrets. We have to protect those secrets.
We got too many people just loose lips with the clearances. I mean, for God's sakes, who knows did you see the news about the Chinese having their little secret police force across the states and everything like that? Like because they like watching their Chinese nationals or Chinese migrants and shit like that. Like, it's really, you're absolutely right with protecting secrets, man. And I know we're trying to end, but this is the one thing that I would be interested in. This is why we need a special counsel. DL, what if some of those classified documents is related to him, Ukraine, and Burisma during that whole 2014, 2015 thing?
So you trying to do the whole Hunter thing? You trying to throw that in there?
It's a possibility.
And you know what?
I love rabbit holes.
You trying to shove us down one of the biggest rabbit holes out there. And the conservatives are going to love you for saying it. And you know what? I have to agree with you. We need to look into it. What documents did he have? And if those documents were concerning what you just said, then we got a real problem. Now, if that's the case, I'm with you with the whole impeachment thing. Now we're looking at something completely different. Like, bro, now we got a serious problem here. Now you could do a Nixon, you can fly off into the sunset and walk away. I'm not a crook, or you can get impeached. But the problem is, either way, that makes Kamala president of the United States. That is
but she'll be a lame duck, and for what, like 8 months,
bro. You know what kind of damage could be done in 8 months worldwide? She's president of the United States. You know what I mean? Anything can happen.
It's just I don't think anything's gonna happen, because the bigger distraction right now is the House Speaker shit, the whole McCarthy and all.
Yeah, bro, that's
it's so many train wrecks going on at the same time, DL. I don't know which one.
But here's the thing, though. Let's say that the Chinese Communist Party hired me and you to sit in their think tank and come up with reasons or things to look out for America, right? We got a problem with America. When would be a great time to strike Taiwan? Right after Biden flies off into the sunset, I am not a crook. Kamala Harris goes into the White House, and the Republican Party is in disarray in the House. That's the perfect time to take Taiwan. America, like, you know what I mean? That's what I said. 8 months is a long time, bro.
I agree. I just don't think their perfect time to attack Taiwan was when Russia invaded Ukraine, because that's when we were at the most discombobulated. Remember, the relationships with our allies were at the lowest point. All of these different things, and they still didn't. The whole China-Taiwan thing, we have to remember that if you guys look at a map and go look at China and Taiwan, in order for China to successfully invade Taiwan, that would be the largest amphibious assault in world history. That would make D-Day look like a training exercise. And by the way, Taiwan, most of their stuff exists on the coast. So just like Russia trying to occupy Ukraine, guess who can't use all their hypersonic missiles, because you can't occupy something that's completely demolished. You know what I mean? And so also China's not going to do that because we're their largest economic trading partner. And they're
Right.
not going to make that up anywhere else.
And
The things
they
with
hold
China,
so much of our debt. They hold so much of our debt, man. That'd be the perfect opportunity. I would love for China to do something like that so we can go ahead and give them the old kabong, and we ain't got to worry about paying that debt back.
yeah,
I think
because that's the thing. If they did that, they would actually give us like a huge leg up. Like,
That's
thanks, bro.
that's an alley-oop. That's a
Yeah.
boy. Put that all the way down.
Appreciate
on you.
it.
Yeah, you ain't getting a dime back, China. So I'm like, fingers crossed. Please do something wrong. Bump into a submarine or something. You know what I mean? Give us a reason. So, but yeah, you're right, man. So we're about to set you up for final thoughts, brother Michael. Fresh might go live tonight. Oh yeah, I appreciate that, man. He just went live earlier. He probably will go live on his channel. Just keeping you updated, fam. I appreciate that. And then Wonderful 34, like I said, is in the house. I'm glad you guys are here. So like this, this was downrange. I'm too bad Sister Candace couldn't make it. I really wanted her to come on. This was her show. So let's just go to final thoughts, bro. Your final thoughts on everything we talked about. Trump mishandling documents, Biden mishandling documents. If you want to talk about who you think might be running in 2024, what are your final thoughts, bro?
Well, once again, DL, as I always say, awesome to be on your platform. You're doing big things. Always great conversation. To the audience, my final thoughts is this. Look at Biden. Look at Trump. For God's sakes, buy yourself a fire safe lock. Digital, fingerprint, key, something. Okay? Keep your most important documents like your passports, your birth certificates, social security cards, loan application, mortgage paperwork. Keep that stuff in a secured location. So at the very minimum, you're not getting into trouble simply because you were reckless. This also doesn't extend just to classified documents. You can apply the same concept to guns. How many less gun accidents would we have if people simply secured their shit like they were supposed to? How many less accidents would we have if people just maybe at least took the magazine out, didn't leave their firearm underneath their car seat with the car unlocked, right? Secure your shit, people, or you're going to find yourself in situations like Trump and Biden, except as DL mentioned earlier, if you and I did something like this, do you think there'd be a special counsel? Do you think there'd be a prosecutor? Or would they already buried us under the jail? And that's my final thoughts.
That's what's up, man. Where can people find you, bro?
Hey, y'all can find me at Tyrus. What is my freaking channel thing? Yeah, I just be Tyrus05, man. I just be streaming, talking shit on Call of Duty, stuff like that. But you can find me on DL Saints. You can find me on JT. You can find me on Black Men Unfiltered. But I just be lurking.
I ain't mad at you, man. Thanks again for coming through, bro. Hang out in the back for a hot second. I'll be right there. So make sure y'all support Brother Tyrus, man. Former vet just like me. You know what I'm saying? Family man. Got the nuclear family, raising his daughters, doing the best he can. You know what I mean? So that's what's up. One more time for Tyrus. And thank all y'all for being here, man. Like I said, we're gonna keep running Downrange podcast stuff. We're gonna talk politics. Tomorrow we're gonna be talking some red pill stuff, man. We're gonna be talking about the sexual marketplace. Me and Brother Tyrus, we're about to hammer it out right now. I'm gonna set up a time, and we're gonna have that for you tomorrow. Hopefully around this time. Hopefully around 6:00. And we're gonna have a good old talk. Y'all ain't gonna want to miss that one. Look out for the thumbnails. That'll be up tonight. Make sure y'all come through, man. I appreciate every one of y'all. Thank you so much for the support. Brother Michael, Primal Studies, Wonderful 34, Brother Smeebles in here, Night is Brother Doug, everybody else. Thank y'all so much for coming through. I truly appreciate it. You know what I mean? And I look forward to seeing y'all soon. Right? So y'all know what it is. I'm DL Saint. This is the Downrange Podcast, man, where we talk about nothing but politics and we give it to you straight, unfiltered, red pill politics right here, y'all. I'm going to talk to y'all later. Peace.
Darn, that's the end.